Joint operation.
Photosynthesis. Together we fight. Oh, stars, heed my calling.
Joint operation.
Strike is wide, fast, and starlight.
And so as you can have seen, Yuanwu on Jinhsi team has been performing, oh my god, it is very good for him. The speed in which he can stack up Jinhsi's incandescent is actually outrageous, and basically the only time when Jinhsi won't have a maximum 50 stack is going to be her first rotation, because after that, whenever she casts her ultra skill and Jinhsi allow all teammates to get stacked once every 1 second, Yuanwu being on the team is just basically going to give Jinhsi a burst nuke of 50 stack every single round. Now before in 1.0, Yuanwu is actually a pretty underwhelming character because obviously his kit is just basically okay. He has really weak scaling of, you have to build him on defensive side, and his supportive capability many of the time isn't really that great. However, when 1.1 comes and Jinhsi arrives, Yuanwu ranking just basically skyrocketed, like honestly, because wow, if you've been playing Genshin, then he's currently the official of Wuthering Waves. But the main reason why Yuanwu is actually so good on Jinhsi's team is because he's got 100% uptime coordinated attack for Jinhsi. So basically, as you can see here, whenever you cast Yuanwu's skill and then you have Jinhsi or other party member just attack the target, you basically kind of have like a 1 second cooldown for every hit that Yuanwu can coordinated attack alongside with you. Therefore, it coincides very well with Jinhsi's cooldown of incandescent stack after her ultra skill. And considering that he is a character of another element to a Jinhsi, you're basically getting a 7 stack every single time, and therefore if you were to get 7 stack every 1 second, you'll only need around 7 seconds for Jinhsi to be at her maximum 50 stacks. Now looking into Yuanwu and other coordinated attacker that we have in the game, I've kind of already discussed a lot about the other coordinated attacker that we have, but before, I quite underestimated Yuanwu's cooperative ability to a Jinhsi a bit because many of the time we were looking a lot into Yinlin as well as Mortifi. However, after testing Yuanwu intensively out, his team comparing to Yinlin's team is basically almost the same. Yinlin's team is just slightly better here and there because while she still does have very good off-field damage for you, however, the ability for her to actually allows you to get off-field damage can actually pretty slow if you don't have her forte to a maximum very fast, because you do need to charge her forte. Whereas Yuanwu, you only need to cast his skill as well as his echo, and then basically that is it. He's going to be off-field the entire time, and then you can have your other party member like Verina to try and stack up. As for Mortifi, technically speaking, if both these characters are at S0, then Yuanwu is still going to be better than Mortifi, because Mortifi really wants you to have an S4 so that he has more liberation uptime. Otherwise, if it's only going to be a 10-second uptime, it's not going to be very supportive to what Jinhsi. So overall, Yuanwu will still be better at stacking up for Jinhsi. Okay guys, Jinhsi banner is basically here, and if you're planning to swipe for her, then don't forget to check out Loot Bar. If you know me, I've been recommending you guys Loot Bar before, since you can always save almost a 20% on all of your top-ups. With over 11,000 orders and so many good reviews at this point in time, you can be sure that Loot Bar is trustworthy. To demonstrate to you, I've been topping up my Wuwa account through Loot Bar, buying the highest Wuwa package. You go through the checkout process, then they will ask you to fill your account information. After completing, you will have a direct message notifying that they are hopping in to top up for you. Then voila, you're done. Here you can see my order receipt. I've topped up Genshin Impact with Loot Bar many times before, so I can be sure that they are safe. So guys, be sure to check out Loot Bar through the link in my description, as it can be a great way for you to save money, especially if you are topping up a large amount in Wuthering Waves. So we know that Yuanwu is an amazing supporter towards Jinhsi stacking. However, that is not the only thing that's really good about him, because guys, you can just basically bring a unbuilt Yuanwu at level 1 weapon, unbuilt echo, and talent level 1 all together, and he will still absolutely help Jinhsi to his fullest potential. Because here's the thing, the only thing that is required with Yuanwu is technically going to be his skill to be upbuilt. As far as the echo set, it's very simple guys. You just basically slot him onto a Moonlit Cloud set, right, and he is very much good to go. The only thing you want to make sure is that if you want Jinhsi to get the buff, you always want to have Yuanwu to do his ultra skill onto Jinhsi. Now in terms of main stat, technically guys, it is actually not that important. You can just use any of the main stat that you have for the Moonlit Cloud set and you will be fine. You don't even have to build any of these either, because we're not focusing on Yuanwu to actually deal the damage. We just need to get the buff from this set. So like if you want energy regen, if you have the energy regen on the cost 3, then yes, that'll be good. I don't have defense here, but if you have the defense on cost 1, then yes, it is the best for him as well, considering if you want to build the echo set for Yuanwu. But I don't think you will be focusing on building it anyway, because at the end of the day, it's going to cost you a lot, and I don't recommend you to use a lot of echo XP on the set that you won't be utilizing too much. Now the more interesting part is going to be toward his weapon build, because wow, here's the thing, you don't actually need a good weapon for him either. Now the best weapon I would say right now is going to be the Makato, because interestingly, this weapon, whenever you cast his skill, he also restore Concerto energy, and we know that Concerto energy is the most important thing whenever we are playing on a Jinhsi team. So this weapon actually works really well for him to utilize the passive. Therefore, if you have a copy of it, well, yeah, you can just go ahead and give that to him. Other than that, you can actually go with like the originate type 4, because for the passive, whenever you do basic, it actually restores his HP. So that is kind of nice, depending on, for example, if later on, if you want to invest into kind of like a sustain or defensive build for Yuanwu to actually tank your hit for you, because he does have pretty good defensive capability given to your team, especially when you're later on when you have more of his sequence. You can actually just go ahead and have a non-healer on your team and have a Yuanwu built as a tank to tank the hit for your team. So this 3-star weapon can actually be very good then. Other than that, for these two weapons, you can just use either if you don't have any of them, and he will still be fine. It doesn't really matter too much. Now for his talent, again, you don't really need to invest into anything. Like the more important thing is probably just going to be his second inherent skill, where you basically get extra 33% increase to his field AoE, which is going to be helping you, trigger his E skill a lot easier than before. But obviously, I don't think you really need to invest until that point right now, because I know that you guys have many other characters you guys want to build. So guys, just leave Yuanwu at level 1 and you are very good to go. For Yuanwu's team, we already seen my first one is obviously going to be Jinhsi, Yuanwu, and Verina's team. This is kind of like a team that is very nice, work well together. And before we were expecting to have Yinlin on this specific team without Yuanwu, but now since he's here, you can just have Yinlin for another team and help you to clear TOA a lot better on the other side. Now the only content that I've seen Yuanwu actually fall behind whenever it comes to Yinlin is going to be when you're up against Yue or enemies that fly around or move around a lot, right? The good thing about Yuanwu once again is that he can actually reset his skill very fast, because it's only a 3-second cooldown for his field. But seeing Yue just fly around too much and the field in which you're battling is just too big, Yinlin Forte is just going to help you do better. But that's currently the only content. Otherwise, Yuanwu just basically fits into any team, making this one of the most free-to-play team that we have. Or if you want even more free-to-play, then you can actually go ahead and have Yuanwu and Mortifi on the same team. Because as I've mentioned before, you can actually go ahead and build a defensive tank Yuanwu to take the hit for you. I'd rather you guys not have Baizhi on Jinhsi team, because I really do feel that it's a little bit wasted now, especially when you have Yuanwu can potentially be a tank. Plus, Baizhi doesn't really help Jinhsi to stack up that well. So honestly, either you try to get a Verina, or guys technically fit in a support Mortifi on this team and have a defensive Yuanwu for you guys to play around. That's probably going to yield you a lot better result there. So guys, yeah, Yuanwu ranking just basically shot up by pretty good amounts. You can see in Pride when tier list, he's on T1 right now. I believe that, I do feel that he should be on higher tier at this point, because considering he's kind of like a literal free-to-play character that everyone has, Jinhsi team has gotten a lot more free-to-play at this point in time. So be sure to try out the team whenever you can. And so guys, if you're new to Jinhsi and you don't really know how to build her, I've got a very dedicated Jinhsi build guide for you. It's very easy to understand and you can just follow along the video and you will understand everything you need about Jinhsi. If you enjoyed the video guys, don't forget to subscribe and leave a like to support the channel. I really appreciate you guys staying with me to this part of the video, and with that I wish you a super day and I will catch you on my next video.